Hey, what's up, you beautiful people? Let's just jump into it. Because today, the Trump administration is making headlines with a big policy shift that's already stirring up some pretty heated debate. On July 10, 2025, the Department of Health and Human Services announced they're cutting off illegal immigrants from a range of taxpayer-funded federal services. This isn't just a tweak, it's a rollback of a policy that's been around since 1998. So what's actually happening here? Well, this all revolves around the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996. That's a mouthful, but you might know it as welfare reform. Back in the Clinton era, this act aimed to give states more control over welfare programs and tighten up who could get federal benefits. But for more than 2 decades, there's been this interpretation, an exception really, that lets some benefits slip through to people in the US illegally. Now that interpretation is out. The administration says, we're going back to the plain language of the law. Here's what that means in practice. Programs like Head Start, big deal here, will no longer be accessible to illegal immigrants. If you're not familiar, Head Start is an early childhood education and nutrition program for low-income families. According to HHS, this move could redirect up to $374 million each year in Head Start services straight to American citizens. That's a huge shift in funding. But it's not just about preschool programs. Other services on the chopping block include grant programs for workforce development, mental health support, and substance abuse treatment. All of these are now officially off-limits to people here illegally. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. put it pretty bluntly. He said, "For too long, the government has diverted hardworking Americans' tax dollars to incentivize illegal immigration. Today's action changes that. It restores integrity to federal social programs, enforces the rule of law, and protects vital resources for the American people." And the Acting Assistant Secretary for Children and Families, Andrew Grattison, doubled down, saying that this is about putting American families first and making sure taxpayer-funded benefits are reserved for eligible individuals. Now, for anyone wondering when all this goes into effect, here's the timeline. The policy will start as soon as it's published in the Federal Register, and then there's a 30-day public comment period. So if you have thoughts, that's your window to speak up. Of course, this move is already drawing strong reactions. Supporters say it's a long overdue step to protect taxpayer money and discourage illegal immigration, while critics argue it could hurt vulnerable kids and families who depend on programs like Head Start. At the end of the day, this policy is about drawing a clear line on who gets access to federal benefits and shifting resources towards citizens and legal residents. But as always, policies like this aren't just about numbers on a page, they have real impact on real lives. So, what do you think? Is this a needed correction or is it going too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm genuinely curious to hear where you stand, and, as always, I'll keep you updated as this story develops. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Stay informed, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.